Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. Today we are gonna talk about the new VOYAGE banner. This is available for new players that are beginning Wuthering Waves starting with version 3.5 and is gonna present you with a choice between 8 different characters / resonators. As somebody that started playing this game since its very launch and that has almost all of the characters, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion as to which one is gonna be the best for your account, which characters are still viable in the current meta, and which ones have been completely power crept and you should not touch. Obviously, this is purely from a meta, sweaty perspective. If you just like a character based on their design or gameplay, feel free to go for it if you don't care about that aspect. And we are going to start our discussion with Cartilla. She is the Sentinel Resonator for the Rinascita region, and this is the equivalent of an Archon in Genshin Impact. When she was released, she was the strongest DPS by far. Unfortunately, that was almost 1 year ago. And right now I can name off the top of my head 3 different DPSs that are just straight up better than her. On top of that, if you want to use Cartilla, you need Chakuna. There is no replacement for her in the entire game. Without Chakuna, Cartilla is gonna hit like a wet noodle. She's pretty much unusable, and you can only select one resonator from this banner. If you wait for a rerun for Chakuna, you know, then you are probably looking at around 6 months to up to 1 year. Of course, if Kuro wants, they can do it faster, but this is just based on patterns and how they operated in the past. By the time Chakuna shows up again, Cartilla is just gonna be even worse power creep. So yeah, I will not touch her. I will not recommend her for a new player. And of course, that also applies to Chakuna since they are paired together. Being a support means that Chakuna can also be used on other teams, but they are usually just worse than the Cartilla team itself, or she's just a co-op second or third best option for other DPSs. And at that point, you can just pick the number 1 option for the DPS. So there is really no point in going for her. And in the same situation, or even worse, is the Zani Phoebe combo. These 2 characters are meant to be played together, and again, you can only select one from this banner. Zani needs Phoebe in order to be usable. Without Phoebe, same as Cartilla. I would say even worse, because Cartilla at the baseline is just gonna be stronger than Zani. So if you are looking at a 2-pair combo that you cannot get right now, you should just go for Cartilla Chakuna instead of the Zani Phoebe one. They are just better. So yeah, probably the worst option on this entire banner. Now, Phoebe can only be used as a support for the Zani team for the most part. However, she also doubles as a DPS. Unfortunately, she is kind of a trash DPS right now. There are 2 endgame modes in Wuthering Waves, or technically 3, but 2 important ones that you should focus on: Tower of Adversity and Wuthering Waves. And there are like 10 or even more DPSs that are stronger than Phoebe in Tower of Adversity. And you are looking at, I mean, for Wuthering Waves, she's just plain up trash, okay? She's pretty much unusable in game in that endgame mode right now. So yeah, we already eliminated 4 of the characters on this banner. Now, Brent is different from the other 4 because his kit is good and he's still a good character right now. He's a healer, he's a buffer, and he is a fusion character that deals a considerable amount of damage. What exactly is the issue with him? Well, you see, right now, the only team that I can say he has is the Mono Fusion team. And if you want the Mono Fusion team, you need to get Lupa. There is no choice here. There is no Mono Fusion team without Lupa, and she is not available on the beginner banner. On top of that, she was released towards the end of the Rinascita region, so she's gonna take even longer than Chakuna to be rerun. In her case, I will even say you are probably looking at more than 1 year until you are going to be able to pull for her. Again, this is just guesswork. If Kuro wants, they can rerun her tomorrow, but based on their patterns, I will say it's going to take a very long time until you see her. Even if you see her, Brent is being slowly power crept and replaced. His advantage is that he's a fusion character and he heals, and that fits perfectly on the Mono Fusion team. However, right now they released a character that is also fusion, is of the fusion element and is also healing, Mornie. She does not deal as much damage, yes, however she's a stronger buffer, and she is way more universal than Brent. She's used almost on all the 𝗖cie 3.x teams. So if you want to pull for a character, you should just wait for her rerun. And that's not all. If we go to the version update and we go to the Sonata set, we are gonna see this Lamp of Nether Road. This set is meant for a character that is fusion, that's scaling with HP, and that creates shield, while at the same time dealing a sizable amount of damage to enough at the very least to consider getting an increase in crit rate as one of the effects. So we are probably looking at a complete power creep of Brent in the very near future. And now we are left with Prolova, Augusta and Yuno. Out of the three, I will say that Augusta is the lower priority, the lowest priority. She is not a bad character by any means, as mentioned before. However, she is a worse DPS than Prolova, which is one of the other three options. And at the same time, yes, she is the strongest electro damage dealer currently in the game. However, Hsin, the sentinel for the Mengzhou region, is gonna be released soon. We don't yet know if she's gonna be a support or a DPS, but if she ends up being a DPS, then she's just gonna be better than Augusta by default. So I will not gamble on that myself. Now, Yuno, she is similar to Brent. She heals, she deals damage, she buffs, she's a jack of all trades. The difference is that she has way more team options than he has. As mentioned before, she is working great, she's the best partner for Augusta, but she's also very strong with Yangyang, the current ongoing banner. She's also strong with Zani, with Phoebe, with any character that scales based off a heavy attack, and she can also be used as a DPS without it being cope. She actually has some insane amounts of damage for being a support and a healer. So because of that, I will place her as the number 2 priority out of all these characters, and number 1 is gonna be Prolova. Prolova was a mistake and the devs acknowledged it. She is decent in Tower of Adversity, but where she really shines is in Wuthering Waves. She is so broken that the devs needed to add mobs that had resistance to her element for months and months and months, because she will just trivialize that endgame mode. You can just whip her and just be done with it. Even against enemies that are resistant to Havoc, to her element, she's still doing insane. She's still getting an insane amount of points. The best partners with her are usually gonna be Cantarella and Russia. Where are they? Cantarella here and Russia here. However, she has so many other characters she works great with. You can use her with qiuyuan. qiuyuan is also insane with her. You can use her with lucilla. You can use her on some kind of shorekeeper team. You can just... She has just way too many options. Even yangyang right now. She is a character that likes to have Prolova on her team, despite both of them being DPSs. This is just how strong Prolova truly is. You really cannot mess by going with her. Even to this day, she is one of the top 3 characters for clearing Wuthering Waves, if not even the number 1. I personally think that when suisui releases, the new character Yangyang is gonna surpass Prolova, but right now, Prolova is still the queen of Wuthering Waves. I hope this video was helpful to you. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Good luck with your pulls. Hopefully you are gonna be able to get the character within the first multi. And bye for now.